Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This time it's going to be all about Gears of War 3, and this is my list of my favorite locust. There are 28 locusts that I have for you today. There are some controversial ones, but I'm just going to get through them really quickly, and I'm going to see in the comments of this video who likes my list, and if you have a list of your own, cool. Comment down below your lists and let's get started. My number 12 is Raiders and Riftworm. The Raiders are the ones with spiky shoulders. They're like 7 feet to 8 feet tall. They can kill anybody with one hit, or humans in one hit. And the Riftworm can sink cities. And the Riftworm is very big. I'm probably just gonna say it's like a mile long, and probably like a little bit under 300 meters wide. I'm not too certain on the Riftworm, but I know the Raiders are pretty strong. But the reason why they're so low is not because of their power, is because I don't really like them that much. The Raiders have died out, and so did the Riftworm. And in Gears of War 2, if you haven't played it, then kind of late. But in Gears of War 2, the Riftworm dies very easily, even though it does get its own chapter. It's very easy, and I don't find it a challenge. Moving on to number 11. These are multiple ones as well. Savage Drone, Sniper, Beast Rider, Kansas, Hunters, and Theron Guards and Sentinels. Theron Sentinels, for you people who don't ever play Gears, just watch lists. They're basically the same thing, except for Guards and Sentinels are just a little bit different. I'll explain in just a second. Savage Drones are the savage version of drones. They're the ones that are actually stronger than regular drones, but not by much. Snipers, you already know what they are and what they do. Beast Riders actually ride Reavers, Brumoks, and Corpsers, I believe, and Blood Mounds as well. Blood Mounds are definitely not something I want to fight. I would fight a Reaver rather than a Blood Mound, because it's annoying and it's very strong. Cantuses are the healers that are like 7 foot, 7'5". They are very, very loud and very annoying. Hunters are just hunters. I believe they hunt humans. Theron Guards and Theron Sentinels are the guardians of the outer perimeter of the Nexus. They are very strong. They're stronger than all of these, and smarter. And they carry much better equipment than any of these, except for Beast Rider, because they don't ride beasts. They're too cool for it. They have too much swag. XD. Then we go to number 10. Cyclops and Bolter. Still not as good as the Theron Sentinel or Guards, but the reason why I like them is because their appearance. They're different. They're very, very different. They both have triangular heads, or they have kind of like... they have very long heads, kind of like the pinheads. Kind of like them, except for not as long and not as innocent. because they carry bolthawks, they carry lancers, they carry all sorts of weapons. And they're very strong. They're not as strong as beast riders. No, I'm sorry. They're as strong as beast riders because of their rank and what they have to go through. They are kind of like assassins, but they're not like snipers, which just snipe. Freaking Call of Duty over here, snipers. Going to number 9, boomers, butchers, and grinders. They basically are the same thing, except for the just different equipment. They're all hard to kill, give or take. More than a whole clip from a lancer, which has 35 bullets or rounds in it, and those rounds are very big. Not as big as like 9x 19s, but they're 7x 27s, so they're as big as the AK-47 rounds. And in order to kill someone with an entire more than 35 rounds from an AK-47 is not exactly hard. But with these, apparently it is. Going to, basically, they're the same thing, except Grinder has a minigun, Butcher has a meat cleaver. They're not exactly the best in a range battle. And boomers, which have boom shots and are quite dangerous to vehicles such as ravens and centaurs. Going to number 8, grenadiers and savage grenadiers. They're stronger than hunters, beast riders, snipers, and cyclopses and savage drones, but they're not strong as the Theron guards and sentinels. Especially the grenadiers, they are very intimidating looking. They're very strong. They have veins popping out of their arms. Like, I'm not talking about like tiny veins, I'm talking about like massive veins. Like, put like a finger on your arm and call it a vein. Yeah, that's how big their veins are. They're very healthy, they're very in shape, and they carry shotguns. Savage Grenadier is the one that really hits the gym and buffs himself up more than the Grenadiers, but they're equally matched in strength. Not in mine though, they're pretty dumb. But still, I like them more than any of these guys. Going on to number 7, Maulers and Elite Maulers. Elite Maulers are the ones with General Rom in them and have krill sometimes on them to protect them. And Maulers are just, well, guys with flails and shields. The shields are impenetrable with bullets, but there are some small weak spots, and the flail is a one shot to any cog. And by any cog, I mean any cog. It would actually, I'm pretty sure, if any mauler hit a raver or Raven, oh god, I can't speak now, a helicopter from Gears, I'm pretty sure it would take you down. Depending on where it hits, probably the back or the front, it would probably take it down, my guess. Number 6 is Theron Elites and Palace Guards. Palace Guards are the ones that are very close to the Queen, so they are very, very good. They're probably the best guards out there. They're the best of the best. And then you have the Theron elites, which are General Rom's buddies. And he shields them with Krill as well. And they have the same kind of weapons as these guys, except for just better equipment. And much better chance of survival with that Krill on them. Time to go to number 5. Armored Cantuses. They're the healers again. But they're armored and they have dual Gorgons. And they're practically impenetrable with their armor, except for the face, and explosions can kill them too. So can the Hammer of Dawn, but you know, that can pretty much kill everything, except for one. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, they also have ink grenades. I don't know if that's very effective, but going on to number 4. Reavers. Reavers are the most versatile pets that the locust have. Mainly because they can fly, and they can fly very fast, and there's so many of them too. Just like the Beast Riders, Reavers are very strong. Very, very strong. They can instantly kill a human by stepping on them. And they can blast any helicopter out of the sky with one shot from their boom shot or missile launcher, or I don't know what it is, or eyeball, or whatever it is that they shoot it out of. They have a kind of like a launcher on them, and the Beast Riders can use lancers and sidearms to shoot as well. Going on to number 3. Berserkers and Lambent Berserkers. Lambent Berserkers are literally impenetrable. They don't die at all. Like, it's really hard to kill a Lambent Berserker. Only one has been killed. However, a Berserker is weak to fire and the Hammer of Dawn, so you can kill it pretty, well, decently. But the only thing is that you have to use explosions and fire. Bullets will not work whatsoever. Lambent Berserker took a Super Hammer of Dawn, the one that takes a city out, and completely annihilates nothing of the Berserker. Her skin is invulnerable to bullets and fire. The only way to kill her is her heart, and you have to wait until it opens, obviously. Going on to number 2. Scourge. The one that tells the Riftworm what to eat and what not to eat. What city to eat and what city not to eat. The Riftworm is controlled by Scourge, and Scourge has his Hydra, which did not make it to the list simply because there's only one that I have seen. And it's not very great. It's better than the Reavers, but when you get more than 1 or 2, it's that Hydra's dead. Scourge is a Cantus priest, and he is like 7'5" to 8'. Not as tall as some of the other guys, like the Berserkers, which are like 9 to 10 feet tall. But Scourge does have a nice weapon. He has dim curls. JK. Just joking, I'm joking. Scourge does have that pole arm with dual chainsaws at the end, which are very creative, I guess you could say the least. And yeah, besides that, he's very athletic. He can jump very, very high and run very fast. Simply because he can jump, he can also run very quickly. The amount of leg strength that requires Scourge to jump out of whatever surface or whatever ground he jumped out of from the hollow to the surface require that much force, and plus you have to take into account Scourge didn't come out of a hole, he came out of the ground. Scourge's legs would have to have at least the ability to lift over 10 men in order to lift him. The drones are about 300. Snipers about maybe a couple more. The normal drones, not the Savage. The normal drones are usually 300 pounds. Usually. Anyone under 300 in this army is gonna have to work out some more. And now to my number one, Rom. He's just like, there's no joke. No joke. He's as strong as a berserker. He's more intelligent than any of these guys. And he has the krill. He controls the krill, which can take out pretty much anything in this universe. Except for, nope, he can even take out the berserker, the lambent one. It can get in her stomach and eat it up. Eat that heart up. And break her heart open. And let all that freaking orange juice out. Also known as emotion. And for my honorable mention, Scion locust, or Scion locust. They are, parts of their body is completely bulletproof, and they are as big as maulers and boomers and grinders and butchers. They're as big as them, and their pieces of them are bulletproof. Now, the reason why I have some of these guys like this is because this is not based on power. It's based on personality, looks, weaponry, and and power and equipment. That's what all of this is based about. The Ragers can take all of these guys down, and yes, I know it. But they died out, and I don't like how they died out. They just died out because, just because? No. Rom is my favorite, simply because he's a badass. There you go. Rom, badass, equals. There. I have a lot of respect for Rom, holding a troika in one hand and controlling the krill in the other. Yes, Scourge is more, I guess, more. You can see him more in the story. And there's a longer boss fight than Rom's, but he was just more of a pain in the rear end to me. And to many people too, because Scourge didn't even die by anyone. He killed himself. He jumped off. Or his Hydra died. His Hydra fainted in midair and just fell. And Scourge didn't even get crushed by his Hydra. He literally fell to his death. what his legs were supposed to help him with. So that is my list. I will be making more series like these. Actually, my next video is going to be more or less a fight between Gears of War and something that an army that I don't really expect anyone to put Gears of War up against, but they do. People actually put this army up against Gears of War, and I don't know why. It's completely unfair if you look at it in at one standpoint, and then the other, it's completely not fair. Anyways, that is gonna be the video for today. Later. Please share. Please. I need that ad revenue.